Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. The first thing that I want to discuss in today's video is going to be hair loss and excessive hair shedding. It's something that I went through probably about 3 years ago. I know I made a video about it on my channel, and to this day I still get comments and emails asking me if the hair loss is still a thing of the past or if it's something that I'm still experiencing periodically. I actually did make a follow-up video to my distraught video, basically asking for help. And that video was just explaining how my endocrinologist and I addressed my excessive hair shedding and pretty much stopped it completely. Like I said, though, I still get comments and emails about it, so it's definitely something that I want to address. Not to say that everybody experiences hair loss for the same reason. There's several different things that can cause hair loss, but if my personal story can help at least one person out, then it's definitely worth sharing. So that's what I'm going to talk about in the first part of this video, and I'm going to give you the very brief, very Cliff Note version of how we addressed it. And then in the second part of this video, I'm just going to share with you the vitamins and supplements that I take regularly as a 47-year-old woman. So yeah, let's jump in. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to give you the Cliff Note version of how we addressed my excessive hair loss. Basically, what we found out was that I had developed an allergy to the blue dye that was in my thyroid medication. And I take levothyroxine. I take 0.075 milligram tablets. Now, unfortunately, the tablets that I was taking, they were kind of a light purple, so they had blue dye in it. And oddly enough, when I was kind of explaining to my endocrinologist kind of the symptoms that I was going through, pretty much like every time I took a pill, she immediately, without even skipping a beat, said, "I think you've developed an allergy to blue dye." And my first reaction was like, no, I don't think so, because I've never been allergic to anything, so it just didn't make sense to me. But she basically said that because I have an autoimmune disorder, the chances of me developing another autoimmune disorder or allergies up the road are greater than someone who does not have an autoimmune disorder. So the first thing that she did was switch me to a dye-free white pill. Now, the dye-free white pills only come in the 0.05 milligram tablets. So I take 1.5 of these a day instead of, obviously, instead of 1.075 milligram tablets. So that's the first thing that she did. She switched me to a dye-free tablet. The second thing that she noticed, according to my blood work, was that I was vitamin D deficient. And she actually said that it's really common over the age of 40 for people to be vitamin D deficient and not even know it. But vitamin D deficiency can lead to hair loss. So her recommendation was that we switch my pill and that I start taking 5,000 IU of vitamin D every day. Now, I know that dosage is very high. I want to say that the regular, daily allowance or recommended allowance or something like that is 600 to 800 IU a day. And she suggested that I take 5,000 IU a day. But she did explain that because I am hypothyroid, the recommendations vary, and that there are studies that have shown that taking vitamin D supplements can actually improve TSH levels and also calcium concentration. So that's what I take. I'm not suggesting, if you do not have an underlying, health issue like hypothyroidism or something like that, I would not just go ahead and start taking, high doses of vitamin D, because I think that's one of those vitamins that you can kind of OD on. I'm not sure if you can OD, but you will have some adverse effects if you're taking, too much regularly. So that's it. Those are the two things that we changed. And I'm not even joking. I think it was 3 days later, the hair shedding just pretty much stopped completely. Not completely. I mean, I was still having typical, 5 or 10 strands, on my counter or something when I'm styling my hair. It was in the shower that I really, really noticed it, because in the shower is when I would have so much hair on my hands that I would have to wipe my hands like this and literally stick it to the wall, because I did not want it to go down the drain, because I knew it would clog up my pipes and stuff like that. So, but that was every day. And then when I would style my hair, hair would just be all over the counters. But whenever we made those two changes, it was like noticeably less. And I just felt like I was able to just let out a sigh of relief, because if you're going through any type of hair loss, it can be very traumatic. I know that sounds so silly and so superficial, but we come to identify ourselves sometimes with our hair, and when it starts to fall out at such an alarming rate, it feels scary. And then on top of it, it's like people are like, don't stress out about it, because stressing causes hair loss. And then I'm sitting here stressing about, hoping that I'm not stressing out about it, but I couldn't help it. I was just totally stressing out about it. So anyway, those are the two things we changed, stopped it completely. It has not happened again. There was a time for a while there, I was going in waves. I have not had a wave for like 3 years. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that maybe like a year and a half or so after I stopped my hair loss, I was at a doctor's appointment. It was a totally different doctor's appointment. I think it was about my heart or something. And I was talking to a nurse. It was a new nurse I'd never met before. And he was asking me if I was allergic to anything. And I said, apparently I'm allergic to blue dye. And I told him the story about how it was in my pill and it was causing my hair loss and this and that. And I kid you not, he told me his mom went through the exact same thing, that she was taking medication. He didn't say thyroid medication, but he just said medication. She was taking some medication and it was purple or lavender like mine, and that the blue dye was also causing her to lose hair. And so I just thought that was crazy, because I've never ever heard anyone say that before. As many videos as I watched on hair loss and what could be contributing to hair loss, not once did I hear anybody say anything about blue dye. Something else that is definitely important to mention is that I also stay away from any food with blue dye in it. So if and mainly it's like candy, but there's also cereals and stuff like that. So if it's blue or purple or green or teal, I won't eat it. I won't even take vitamins that are those colors, because obviously they include blue dye. So the only things that I eat that might look purple or green or something like that are fruits and vegetables. And those are supposedly okay, because obviously it's not dye. It's just, they're naturally that color. So anyway, I hope that really helps someone else out. So let's move on to the second part of my video. So one thing that I take very regularly, pretty much every single day, except for the weekends, I don't know why, I always forget to take my thyroid medication and vitamins on the weekends, usually just like one day. But I take a multivitamin, a woman's multivitamin. Now, one thing that's kind of funny about me is that I will not take vitamins in a pill form. I will only take vitamins if they are chewy, like gummy or jelly beans, or chewable in some sort of way. If it's a pill, I know myself, even when I'm feeling sick or if I have a headache, I'm so reluctant to take anything in pill form. I don't know why. It's stupid. It's really stupid. But anyway, so this is one of the things that I take regularly. It's just a women's multivitamin. I'm not going to read to you everything that it includes. Maybe I'll put a screenshot or something so that you can take a look. But it's just, your typical one-a-day vitamin formulated for women. Okay, so something else that I take obviously very regularly are my vitamin D supplements, and I'm religious about these. I take 5,000 IU a day. Now, 2 gummies have 2,000 IU. That's equivalent to 50 mcgs. So I typically take 4 of these gummies, and then my women's one-a-day actually has 1,000 IU of vitamin D. So together, they equal 5,000. I do want to mention, this is just my preferred brand. It's the brand that my local grocery store puts out, and mainly just because I love the taste most. Obviously I'm trying to always keep the dosage the same, but I just love the way that these taste. Okay, so something else that I take very regularly are these hair, skin, and nail gummies. And I take 2 gummies a night, and they include 25 mcgs of biotin. And biotin is supposed to be an important component of enzymes in the body that help to break down fats and carbohydrates, and I can't remember what else. But those are the 2 that I totally remember. But anyway, that's not the only reason why I take them. I take them because I'm hoping that they're helping my hair, skin, and nails. I can't be sure of it. I have been taking these pills for so long. I actually can't even remember what age I was when I wasn't taking them. It's just something that's always, always, always been in my routine because I'm a girl, I guess, and hair, skin, and nails are things that girls, want to have look nice. Now, I do know that they don't really help with my nails because I don't have very nice nails. I used to, whenever I was younger, even as recent as like 4 years ago, 3 years ago. But I feel like as I've gotten older, they've just gotten more brittle and weak, and it's so disheartening. And so anyway, I wear these little glue-on fake nails all the time, and I think they look great, so I'm not complaining. I mean, I'd rather have my natural nails, this long and hard and everything, but I don't think that's a possibility for me anymore. However, there was a time that I was taking collagen, and it tasted terrible. I couldn't continue taking it, but it was the only thing that I feel like was helping with my nails. Maybe I'll revisit that and try something that actually tastes good. But anyway, I take those regularly. I don't know if they help or not, but I'm hoping that in some crazy way they do. At the very least, they taste really, really good, and it's like a little dessert for me at the end of the day. Okay, so something else that I take every day is vitamin C. And obviously everybody knows that vitamin C is great for, your immune system, but it's also a great antioxidant, and it's supposed to be really good for your skin. And so that's one of the main reasons that I take vitamin C. I think it's also supposed to help with like water retention, like in your face and maybe all over your body. I can't remember. I remember reading something like that. But anyway, I usually take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. I want to say that the daily recommended allowance is something like 75 to 90 milligrams a day. But it's been noted that only 10 to 20% of adults receive adequate amounts of vitamin C from their food. So because of that, I definitely want to supplement with vitamin C. So yeah, I take 1,000 milligrams a day. Now, one thing about vitamin C is that it's really hard to OD on vitamin C, especially when you're taking it all at once, because whatever your body doesn't absorb, it will eliminate. However, if you're taking it several times a day, I think it's different. But I know that if you take excessive amounts daily, regularly, then it can lead to adverse effects. I want to say that I read that it can lead to kidney stones. And so anyway, I never go over 1,000 milligrams a day, and I've never had any issues. I want to say 500 and below is great, but they taste so good, and so I just always pop another one. And plus, if it helps my skin, I want as much vitamin C running through my system as possible. Without being toxic, So anyway, this is the brand that I like. It's Spring Valley. They're chewables. They're really good. Of course, I avoid the green ones. There's orange, red, yellow, and then green. And I just avoid the green ones, which stinks because they're watermelon flavor, and all of them are so, so good. So anyway, yeah. Okay, and then the last thing that I take, and this is something that I do not take regularly. I used to take it every single day, but now I only take it whenever my sleep patterns have been completely, haywire or something like that. And this is melatonin. These are 5 milligrams of melatonin, and it's 4 strawberry jelly beans. They're so delicious. Sometimes I just really need to take 2. And then sometimes when I'm really, really wanting to conk out, I'll take like 8. I'll take 10 milligrams altogether. I only do that whenever my sleep patterns are just getting crazy. Like right now, I don't know what it is, but I'm not even kidding when I say like my new bedtime is like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know how that happened. Well, I do know how that happened. It was quarantine, and then quarantine bled into summer. And during the summer, my kids and I, we stay up a little bit later, and we kind of wake up later. And then it's like we go to bed later and later and later and later. And it's just a really bad habit that we get in the summer. And then usually around school time, we start to break it. I feel like we've been on summer break for, 6 months now or so. So my sleep patterns are really crazy. So sometimes when I'm trying to get to bed at more of a decent hour, I'll start to take my melatonin. And the one thing about melatonin is that I have the most vivid like bizarre, crazy, entertaining, exciting dreams ever. I mean, it's like I'm living in an alternate world when I sleep, and I don't mind it at all. I never ever have nightmares. Never do I have nightmares when I take melatonin, but I do have very vivid, active dreams. And I dream anyway, like I dream very regularly anyway, but when I take melatonin, it's like a whole new level. But anyway, so I'll do it, several nights in a row until my pattern, starts getting a little bit more normal, and then I'll lay off. Now, one of the cons to taking melatonin is that whenever I wake up in the morning, I am so groggy. It is so hard for me to wake up after having gone to bed taking melatonin, probably because I'm so active in my dreams at night. I'm just joking. It is so hard for me to wake up and snap out of it if I've taken melatonin the night before. Even my coffee doesn't really help. So, so that is definitely a con. And that's one of the biggest reasons that I started to get off of it anyway, because I was really looking forward to it every night, taking some melatonin. I love the way it's like your eyes get so heavy to where you're very conscious of the fact that you are really about to slip into a coma or something like that. It just feels so good. But then the waking up is not so great. So anyway. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys found this video to be helpful in some sort of way, especially if you're dealing with hair loss. Hopefully that portion will help you out, or maybe at least give you some direction or something like that. So anyway, thank you so much for stopping by. Anytime you take the time to watch one of my videos, I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful for that. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I hope to see you back here next week. So